Hey there, guys. Justice Cannon here. And today, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Sorry. Anyways, I was just watching a Star Wars questionnaire from Antoine Bendelli or Bendel, forgive me. And so I kind of figured, you know what? I kind of maybe I would do it. You know, no. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. All right. Question number one: Jedi or Sith? Well, well. When I was young, I've actually focused a bit more on the Sith intake. But right now, both in Star Wars and in real life, I'm actually a bit more of a gray Jedi. I'm actually more in the a gray Jedi or light side Sith kind of deal. Because I really do want to make peace, but sometimes I have to do what others are unable to do themselves in order to achieve that goal. Yeah, so basically a gray Jedi or light side Sith kind of deal. So there's probably what I would be. Okay, next, favorite world. One of my favorite worlds. Okay. Hey, believe it or not, I actually have a few others. I have a few other favorite worlds. I have Camino. Oh, and of course, there's also Naboo. Oh, and Yavin and things like that. But if I had to choose one, I would basically have to go for Camino because I really do enjoy the ocean view, and plus it's really nice and solitary, because I'm basically a solitary type of person. I like to keep most things to myself and secluded. So yeah, I would have to go for Camino. Okay, question number three. Uh, which type of hilt, lightsaber color, and lightsaber forms what I would use? Okay, I would basically have two standard lightsabers, but they would both be in different colors. And of course, both of the lightsabers emitters would be of a slanted kind, and almost similar to Starkiller or Darth Vader, because they had a slanted hilt. Sorry, slanted emitter, I should say. One lightsaber color would be yellow, the other one would be purple. I know it's a little funny in looking at, but yeah, that would be my choice in terms of colors and hilts. Now, as for forms, I would basically, use those. I would be a Form 5, Form 2, and Form 6 specialist. It's because, a Form 6 is mainly focused work on precision instead of brute force like Jim So does. But if I was ever encountered, but if I ever encountered, or like a regular Sith acolyte, right, or an apprentice of a sort, I would basically use Makashi mainly because I want to work around with them. But if I was facing a much more tougher opponent, like a Jedi Knight, a Jedi Master, or a Sith Lord, then I would mainly focus on Gem So, but I would mainly do so in a certain degree, because I mainly just want to beat them. I don't want to overpower them, but just beat them enough up to where they would submit, or basically just disarm them. But of course, if I encounter a Sith who's focused on Juyo or Vapad, well, then that is where I will have to use those Form 6 Naman. So that way I could use my force abilities combined with my lightsaber attacks as to take them down. So yeah, that would pretty much be it. Okay, so here we go. Number 4, the favorite species. Well, this one's a gimme. My favorite species in Star Wars would have to be the Twi'leks, because well, use your imagination. Okay, so number 5. Number 5 is my favorite vehicle. What would be my primary mode for transportation? I think my main mode of transportation it would have to be it would have to be a Fury class interceptor. Which of course, if you've played Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Fury class interceptor is given to both the Sith Warrior and the Sith Inquisitor. But the main reason why I like it because it really does fit my personality, a little bit. A bit of a somewhat dark and a secluded kind of person. But in all honesty, the main reason why I choose the Fury class interceptor, it's mainly because it's nice and roomy, and plus it just looks really cool. To be honest with you. Okay, so number 6. If I were a Jedi, who would be my master? That's a really good one, but if I had to choose a Jedi master, if I was a Jedi, I would basically have Jedi Master Plo Koon. The reason why I would have Plo Koon is because, he has a very deep and understanding knowledge about the living force. Or so I guess you could say he's almost similar to Terra Sinube. Well, I mean, of a sort. But yeah, I would basically have to I would have Plo Koon as my Jedi Master. Okay, so now number 7. If I were a Sith, who would my master be? Okay, well, if I was a Sith, I would pretty much basically I would pretty much basically would have Count Dooku as my Sith master. Because I guess in a sort, or he's just like Plo Koon, he's also very knowledgeable all about the Force, and not only that, but he could also teach me Makashi. Excuse me. He can teach me Makashi a far more better than what most of the Jedi or the Sith have been known for. But that there's my opinion. Yeah, that there's basically my opinion. Okay, so favorite Jedi film. My favorite Jedi film out of all of them, it would have to be Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Right? Because it really does give up a deep, in-depth look out of the entire Star Wars saga. But my most favorite scene of all was, sorry, that was my phone. My second favorite scene, my second favorite scene in that movie is the big space battle, but my most favorite scene would have to be to where Luke Skywalker succeeded in redeeming his father from the dark side. Now that there to me, really, it does send me a message because it tells me of to how someone can still be redeemed even though they've fallen from the dark side. So yeah, that there would definitely be it. Okay. Okay. My least favorite film. My least favorite film would have to be. I would pretty much basically would have to say A New Hope. The main reason why I choose A New Hope as my least favorite film overall is because the only concept, the only two concepts I got from that, and that, well, I mean, it was okay, but I just really didn't care for that much because all it does is basically tell the story of how Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi he met, and and he actually and he only received only a small amount of training in from Master Kenobi. So yeah, that there, episode 4 would be my least favorite film. Okay, a question number 10: if I could write my own novel, what would it be about? Okay. And so if I had to write my own novel, it would have to be to where my Star Wars counterpart, Jason Vaughn, on actually woke up from a very long sleep, but not so much a sleep, but almost like in a form of stasis, if you would. So he would almost be in the same similar state as Revan, but however, though, he went deep into stasis and he was frozen in carbonite. And so it would actually start off from the Old Republic era, but Jason Vaughn was not discovered until about like 1 or 2 years after the Battle of Endor, or when he was awoken and from his carbonite stasis. Yes, and of course, at first he was really confused, and he's still trying to figure out up to what happened to the Sith Emperor Valkorion. Excuse me. What happened to the Sith Emperor Valkorion, as well as Prince Arkin, and of course, his apprentice Kira Carson, and things like that. And well, that would be the first part, and then the second part, he finally starts to understand what's been happening in after so long, and then in the final part of the book, well, the novel, I should say, he then finally decides to join in with the New Republic, and he decides to use the title of Jedi Battlemaster and teach alongside Kyle Katarn and Luke Skywalker of a new brand of Jedi. Okay, so the next question. If I were a Sith, what would be my Darth title? My Darth title, I would have to say Darth Kronos. If I were a Sith, I would be Darth Kronos because I really do believe that Darth Kronos actually fits me very well. Because, well, with the Jedi, I want to try. The only time I would fight is by way of peace. I want to preserve whatever peace was left. But as Darth Kronos, I go on forth and not only capture as many of the Twi'leks, Togrutas, and species like that, make them my personal slaves, but also that I could go into other planets and conquer other worlds. So yeah, if I were a Sith, that would be my title, Darth Kronos. Okay, next question. Do I collect action figures? Not so much. No. Not so much, no. That, no. I don't have any figures. Number 13, favorite soundtrack? Well, yeah. I really do have several favorites, but my 3 personal favorites was the theme of Jango Fett, the theme of the Jedi during the time of the Old Republic, and finally, the duel between Anakin and Count Dooku from Star Wars Episode 2. Okay, so in my opinion, what is the best of the expanded universe? Well, to me personally, my favorite part of the expanded universe, it was during Starkiller's time. Well, both the regular Starkiller and the Starkiller clone, because it really does reveal a little bit of the story up to what happened between Episode 3 and Episode 4. So kind of like within the middle of exactly how it really does tell me of how the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic came to be. Okay. Worst of the expanded universe. Okay. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm going to leave that one blank because I'm not really too sure. For me, what does Star Wars mean to me? Okay, well, personally, what Star Wars means to me, it's almost like the Star Wars films has some connection of reality up to how you have two different forces, where you have the Republic and you have the Empire. One wants to try and preserve whatever pieces left, and of course you have this Empire who wants to do like some kind of a tyrannical rule. So yeah, to me personally, Star Wars has kind of like a charm to a point of view on things. So yeah, that would that there, my friend, would pretty much basically be it.